until Master. Only in Grandmaster and in Challenger is Jace more picked than Garen as a top laner in most solo queue games.
Surprised, but I am also compelled by this Lissandra. Used to be an answer into the Ahri in these.
Lincec's now with Humanoid. Might even go for a little bit more. Humanoid not showing. Flag and drag. Glacial pass. Skewmon flashes. Lincec's flash for the follow, but Broken Blade's coming across here. And now Lincec is not in the best of shapes. Going to start burning to Broken Blade, who goes into the overheat. Flamespitter doing so much work. The baby's down! Skewmon will take one of his spots. Knuckle has the Between Worlds, has that ultimate, as you say. And will get himself a kill. 2 for 1 on the Fools, leading in CSD. That's a creep score difference at 10.5, 10.5 at 14 minutes.
Ult on BB.
Fleshy's coming across, as you say. BB, no flash, no ult, and nowhere really to go. Fleshy puts down a Caretaker's Shrine, and Broken Blade, having overextended the kill, will go over to the bar.
Kaza will be the cross map here. Hansama and wastes no time to dive in. LeBron is in the jungle. This is usually a time where junglers always tell me you need to force fights. If you have Sunder's guy Spike and the other guy sitting on components, you want to match him no matter where he goes.
Agreed.
So we'll just end up doing the trade here, the classic trade, the grubs for Mountain. I will say the Aurora will enjoy these grubs because it's going to be very easy for her to get those tower plates going and accelerate herself. But maybe it was a missed opportunity, who knows?
It's an interesting decision, right? Because Hansama also hadn't finished the Kraken Slayer, so even though the AD carries were slightly item mismatched, it wasn't a full item to components, it was better components to other components, right? So they decide against taking the fight, maybe thinking Humanoid. The junglers have done this really effectively. And without Fleshy here right now, Kazi, there's the Bolt Breaker, Cease and Desist will follow up on it, into the Wild Grove, into the Polymorph. Like, what's the man got to do?
The actions that just happened, Kazi just cannot play the game right now. The moment he has a little bit of breathing time, he wants to go put the ward to make himself even safer, and he just face checks a buy. As Knuckle goes for something, and Broken Blade flashes it, but Lincec is here.
Equalizer down to try and clear out the wave. Lincec's flag and drag or just a straight cataclysm. They burn BB as they flash away from Lincec's.
Looking very squishy by the minute. They would probably end up falling right here.
Yeah, if you're Kazi as well, you come back to lane, it's like, my support has 100 HP, dude. Like, we just have to give up this tower. We can't stand under it. And
no amount of hot chocolate will heal that.
Yeah, it's like, man, you can sip all of the Chocky you want, but it's not going to work. As first tower goes over to G2, and with it about a 700 gold lead, Hansama is 2.4 thousand gold ahead. What was not too big a deal 50 CS ago is now quite a sizable. He finishes his cull and gets his quest complete because you get that infusion of gold, but we're still looking at like 1.5k or thereabouts as Humanoid goes in onto Caps. Frozen Tomb coming out as well. Tempered Fate to stop the Spirit Rush. Cosmic Binding needs to be perfect. It wasn't quite, but they still get the knock up as Caps is able to Spirit Rush out. There's the charm onto Lincec's. Broken Blade coming in with a Flame Spitter. The Polymorph on Lincec's. And then we can always TP back up to that top side with Narco. Caps looking to see if anyone paths greedily down towards the bottom side, but no one does. Looks like Narco available for Humanoid as well. They might just want to try and get that out as G2 on this Drift held. 5,000 HP on it. Broken Blade looking for the equalizer. Humanoid going to TP in as G2 might need to step back now. Vault Breaker out from Skewmon. Between Worlds we go. Smite from Lincec secures the Rift held. Humanoid looking to get on the backline. Ring of Frost going down as well with the equalizer. Broken Blade forced into Cataclysm. Humanoid in the middle of the entire enemy team though with the Frozen Tomb. A Tempered Fate is not going to buy you enough time, my dude. Humanoid will fall, but Vitality will take.
Teams really want to fight. That's what their comps are built for.
BB TP's in. Drake down at 3,000 right now. Humanoid looking for that flank position, unspotted. G2 are unaware of the encroaching Lissandra.
And BB not even to contest the Dragon, so that's a win for Vitality. And now Aurora is pushing at bot. No one is there to answer for her, so that's going to be even more plates in her bag.
Yeah, it might be a full tower for tower exchange. Fleshy trying to walk forward, has that magical journey. Cosmic Binding doesn't find the stun. Astronar. That's a meme that might actually be aged out by a lot of our viewers these days. It's not. It doesn't feel that long ago, but it's actually like 4 years old. As Fleshy looks to chip away at Caps, but Caps is able to take the tower once again. Vitality just poking and prodding towards the G2 mid laner, but can't really find a way to fight him. And Caps has built up a small lead for himself, 600 gold in that mid lane as the fight for Vitality again pushed back a little bit. Skewmon caught out. Going to put a snapshot here. It's fantastic angle. Narco has a great flank looking for Hansama, and Broken Blade dives in. Skewmon already down. Humanoid flashing forward as well as they look for Hansama, who flashes out himself. Flag and Drag still finds the mark. Magical Journey in from Fleshy, has to flash away himself. Hansama begins to turn it around. Hansama begins to turn it around. Hansama, the Penta stolen! Right under his nose by Broken Blade as Hansama stands lands and delivers.
Scumbag Broken Blade takes the pentakill from Hansama. You saw it looked so good when the combo connects and everyone takes the portal, but they go into the meat grinder. That is Broken Blade and Hansama. We talked about him all game. He's so strong, he's so fed, he's so well nurtured, and he just puts on a show. That's team fights.
Just incredible stuff. There was so much weight on him. So many players trying to get on 4.5k ahead, and they're going to push in with this Baron. Vitality overstepping in a single fight allows Hansama to answer some of the doubters on our analyst desk from previously. People that said, well, you know, it's Kaza you see pop up in a team fight. Hansama very much putting that to bed over the last few weeks, I feel.
Absolutely, he's shown a very dominant performance. Except for the last years against Fnatic, I think he's consistently been a great laner together with Labrov. And he talked a little bit about how he's helping Labrov kind of find that mindset, because Hansama,
landing on two, they're going to TP behind it as Humanoid looks for the flank. This is a 4v5 in Vitality's favor. Glacial path forward, flash, ring of frost, polymorph immediately, flag and drag for the follow-up. Between worlds goes Nako into the grave. Go Hansama and Skumon. Broken Blade too late on the team.
Issue from this Vitality comp, you need to mark them, you need to ward them and make sure no one is coming from a funky angle.
BB looking for the steal, Linces just smites it. Held onto it wisely as BB is able to just walk away. And all credit to the flank, great ward for the TP, but Fleshy landing that Tempered Fate was absolutely sublime as well. We'll have another look at it here, obviously, and Labrov going for the magical boots. You can see the damage that Hansama has managed to do in this fight, whereas in this game, whereas...
Mind their flanks. You cannot let Humanoid and Nako access Hansama, because that's all your damage, clearly. He has already bought the shield bow.
In my eyes, mostly an engaged merchant.
This is scary, watch out.
As Fleshy steps forward, flashes out Magical Journey, won't take him anywhere. Hansama gets the kill, Nako having the rocket belt away.
He can't really walk up there without dying.
Yeah,
so once again in danger here.
Q as well. Magical Journey out from Fleshy. There's the heal as well, but Hansama just melts him. Nako trying to trade back in. Shieldbow, Humanoid and Linces are pushing through the bot side to try and take a tier 2 to get some gold back, but now G2. I mean, they're really using the fact Hansama is so far ahead very effectively. Constantly pushing and poking and prodding and constantly finding Fleshy. Nako will be able to chunk out Caps a little bit. You can see the shield from the Mercury treads there. And quite a lot of work. Ace in the hole coming out as well. Caps. We have a Hansama who is a couple of components away from being true full build.
He's looking for the GA right now, I think. In case he gets dove and ends up dying, he will get back.
Huge wave here. Triple cannons coming in. Kaza's going to try and clear it out with the help of Humanoid, and they'll do so a little bit, but the cannons buffed up are enough just to take down the tower anyway. Caps continues to push in the top lane as G2 with 3 here. And Skumon waiting just around the corner to see if Vitality do look for the engage. Again, another Tempered Fate could start the play for Vitality. Apart from that, you're looking at Humanoid jumping in, Linces jumping in. Linces does now have a GA, so a little bit more safety if he goes for it. Caps, not the target yet for Nako as G2 then just allow Vitality to walk away off it. Dragons now spawn. Caps looking for a flank.
They're down towards the bottom side.
They're two-manning the Baron. Caps is looking for this as G2 will be able to get the Baron. Spirit Rush away from Caps towards that bottom side. He is flanking on Kaza.
It seems like they're defending the base now. They're making a call to defend the base. And it's going to be G2 taking the Baron and engaging here.
Flag and drag onto Labrov and Hansama. Hansama still has the GA. Humanoid forced away. Equalizer coming down on him. Frozen Tomb used to dodge the Bolt Breaker, but the rest of his team not really here to help him out. Tempered Fate on Skumon. Is that enough? Skumon dashes away between worlds, goes Nako and Kazi, kills off the enemy jungler. Nako still chasing well on Hansama. Does have that GA. Drake down to 6,000. Broken Blade trying to step forward now. Overheats Humanoid going in with the rocket grab. Rocket belt as well. Hansama stepping forward. Huge shield on him. Drake secured. Ocean Soul. Nako going in. Cataclysm on the Broken Blade. Flag and drag knocks up all 4. Hansama flashes away and dashes away and somehow survives. Broken Blade taken low, will be taken out. The ace in the hole blocked by Caps. Vitality find a couple more. Expiring relatively soon as G2 have the setup around the Baron. Vitality trying to poke their noses in, trying to prod. They use the flag from Linces. Can't really find much more vision. They'll clear out vision from G2. Humanoid's about to show on the bot wave. G2 have an option. Immediately go for the Baron as soon as Humanoid shows.
Humanoid doesn't have TP.
He doesn't even have the teleport, as you say. And that's just Baron. Vitality unable to step forward. Humanoid had to go to bot to get towards the super minions, but G2 will get the Baron. 40 seconds now on to 50-50, as you say. Elder down to 8,000. Caps looking for the flank. G2 walking towards the bottom side. Lince is going in. Flashy, magical journey straight towards Caps, who's forced to spirit rush away. Lince is in the back of the pit. Flashes away from Skewmon. Tempered Fate to delay the dragon right now. Nucko with a stopwatch. Equalizer on the back line as well. Cataclysm in. Lince is looking forward. Between worlds we go. The smite from Skewmon finds his mark, but can G2 fight through it? They've already lost 2. Broken Blade, LeBron and Caps need to get the hell out of here, and will manage to do so. Vitality still on the chase. Lince's flag and drag. Smite on Caps for the slow. Flashy flashes. Cosmic binding. Flashed away from Caps. The Elder in G2's hand, but Vitality still have 5 men alive.
And the game keeps on going, Medic. The game does not end just because Elder dies. It is Vitality that wins the fight, despite that Skewmon wins the 50-50 smite fight. And now they're 5 versus 3, pushing on to this Nexus, or at least the inhibitor here. They're trying to get something out of this.
The question is, do Vitality stick or twist? Do they go for the full Nexus push? Still 25 seconds on Hans and Skewmon. They don't have TP on Humanoid. He's Spring. They had a 54-minuter against KC in week 1. They had a 50-minuter against Na'Vi. And now, if they can live for 2.5 more minutes, or if they can fight back for 2.5 more minutes, we'll have another over 50-minute game involving Vitality. There's something about this team. They have resilience. They have stickiness, as we like to say. Elder expiring in 22 seconds. Vitality wisely giving up the double inhibs once again. Skewmon spotted.
Skewmon going for a Sven flank here, potentially.
Flashy dodging away.
Hello.
Charm, they spot Skewmon. He tries to dash away. Will Vitality go further? Season desist immediately onto Nucko. Tempered Fate to try and stop him. TP coming in from Broken Blade as well. Between worlds goes Nucko. Skewmon's on first. The Ring of Frost from Humanoid! He's out of this world. A double now for Kazi. Hansama though. Still a touch on the back line. Kazi trying to step forward. Needs another auto though. Get him! Broken Blade falls 2! Say it once, say it twice. Humanoid wins the fight for Vitality.
It's a quadra kill for Kazi, and they're trying to push down, but look, Caps already got the wave. Medic, I do not think they can end this game. I think this game will keep on going. Look where their wave is. They're gonna try to push with this one, but maybe Caps can hold it. He doesn't have the Spirit Rush, but it's the Flashy going for Caps.
Blast Cone needs a Blast Cone. Gets
random ins.
Flashy's still chasing him. Flashy will get the ace. Well, you've got 30 seconds on Skewmon, 30 on LeBron. You have to feel it's over. Vitality in 52 minutes have fought back against G2. A game that looked done and dusted when Hansama had a 5k lead in the bot side. Vitality unrelenting, unwilling to give it up. Will take down the final win, will take the Nexus Towers, and will go 1-0 up in the series. And it's on the back. Yeah. You talked about skirmishing, things like LeBlanc, like the Silas, 2 big options, and it is going to be LeBlanc locked in for Caps. The LeBlanc-Ash combination, something we saw them bring out at first stand. You can find picks underneath the tower. A little bit harder to do that on Humanoid, because he can just dash away with the ship. Nucko now needs to make sure that he farms up all of these minions underneath his tower. Should be able to do that relatively successfully. BB is going for the reset, as Flashy's going for the engage onto Hansama. Has the cleanse, has the flash, but with Lince's here, no way out. The spear lands. LeBron, the new target, tries to flash away and will deal with the fact that he's taking quite a bit of damage in this lane right now. The Cole already stacking up for Broken Blade as well. 76 left on it. You can see LeBron actually moving out of the bottom lane to try and get a little bit of vision around the dragon. Skewmon halfway to level 6. Hex flash over. We talked about the move from Fleshy. Broken Blade has the flash, but how is he going to get out? Nucko about to go mega, nars him into the wall. Would have been. Yeah, I think it's one of those, if Fleshy wasn't there, perhaps BB gets the Q3 knock up into last breath. Maybe, right? Maybe it's more
the gank that Lince found. Really great punish on that. So despite Lince's finding the early gank, Skewmon is now almost a full level ahead, but here we see Flashy defending his Raptors.
Mega Inferno Bomb going down onto LeBron as well. Nucko moving towards Caps, looking for the chase. Caps jumps back in with the Distort and with the chains, and then dashes away with another Distort. Caps manages to escape. Nucko using the jump onto the clone, building up the Mega Gnar bar, but with Broken Blade here to defend. G2 able to get their mid laner out of dodge after he gets the kill. Nucko defended with a Shadowing Strike, and Vitality, although they collapsed, weren't able to find anything. No cleanse available here for Hansama. Does land the arrow satchel forward from Kazi. Hans taken out. The Grand Starfall going down there. Gold still pretty even between the two teams. Only about 300 the advantage. And Vitality do need to be cautious around Caps, who's 720 ahead in mid. But if they can keep this going, Vitality trying to find advantages in other lanes.
Yeah, you see Flash is trying to soak mid lane XP to hit level 6 so they can contest this, but he's just a little bit short if you look at that purple bar above his face. Vamp, Scepter, and Berserkers, and he's just playing so aggressive.
Flash forward from Flashies. He looks for the Magnet Storm. They'll get onto LeBron, who flashes away. Mega Inferno Bomb's going to catch onto the Seraphine, and she goes bye-bye. Skewmon, though, with the Crescent Guard and Linces, not really able to get to the support of his team, means that he'll go down in a one-for-one exchange on the bot side. Yeah, he really does. And Knuckle will want that teleport up in time, waits for the cannon minion wave, but then the Steel Tempest Q3 out from Broken Blade keeps him around. Knuckle's actually going to stay as Caps just absolutely deletes Humanoid's health bar. That was 3/4 in the blink of an eye. Humanoid pings it. Okay, that's, I
think it was aiming for Humanoid, actually.
Could have been aiming for Knuckle backing in the bushes. Skewmon's going to go in. Last
why
breath
did he
again.
do better? He's been staying here for so long, Aaron. I don't know why he's just staying around looking for death, but will end up going down. A good punish by G2, making sure no inch will go unpunished.
Flash forward, Wind becomes lightning, and Linces becomes Caps food. Stayed around too long, man. He had the TP the whole time. Dies, loses 3 plates on his tower as well, and all the pressure that he had, and all the side steps in the world can't really negate that. Broken Blade dodging away. Grand Starfall coming in from Linces as well. Puts the control wall down. BB looking for the outplay. Stun from the shield vault into the lockup. Knockup. There's the ammo.
Corrected. He cannot play this.
Linces takes the kill. I mean, he tried. He was close. If he managed to get the knockup from the Steel Tempest, a last breath could have been the last for Linces as Caps jumps onto Humanoid again, waits for the minions to clear, then lands the chains. Fleshy has to wait for Caps to dash back before looking for a shadowing strike.
What's the deal with our top laners, man? Why can't they just play normal? Why did it? Oh my god! Yeah, I'm not sure. Something is happening right now in the studio. Some mojo is going on. But in the end, it is G2 sitting comfortably on with almost a 2k goal. I mean, this game will be getting really tricky for Vitality if they cannot stabilize, because these team fights will be tricky.
Magnet Storm in as they look for Han Summer. Kazi there with the damage as well. LeBron the first to fall. Crescent Guard out from Skewmon, and Vitality is just going to keep poking and prodding and seeing if he can get close enough. Rift Herald used as well with an encore to back this up. G2 could charge in. Cap's going to reset, has the TP. Drake down to 1,000 as they manage to secure it. Lince is going to flash out of the back of the pit to avoid the oncoming Rift Herald, and TP down to the bot lane from Caps as they look to charge into this tier 1.
He drives. Wow, okay, so will actually be the Dragon take for Vitality.
Taken on the next straight.
Yeah.
He used his full battery for that, but that's okay. On Corns, Kazi flashes away. G2 looking for the tier 1 in mid and looking for a little bit more. Flashy has to crash down his way out of the fight. G2 will take 2 towers over that play, and now they're looking towards Knuckle, who is not in the best of shapes. No turret for him here. Caps on the chase. Knuckle doesn't have flash, but does have that Gnar. Wallop, chains misses, Gnar into the wall. Caps has a bounty on his head, uses the clone wisely. Mega Inferno Bomb! Just in the mid lane. Knuckle is going to be given some gold towards this top side. He'll get himself a tower. Only player really that matters with a lead. I know Fleshy is 100 and 200 gold ahead, guys, but I'm going to be honest.
Ashe and Seraphine is behind him. There's no way they can ever go on Skewmon, because the only way Vitality wins a fight is if they go on the Ashe Seraphine. I was holding my breath there as Caps went in.
Onto Caps. Dodging away as G2 will start up the Drake. Magnet Storm in. Caps going to distort away. There's the encore as well. And look, man, I'm sorry. You went a little bit too deep there. He's trying to find
too shallow. It wasn't really, didn't really get in there at all, to be fair. I think maybe he thought he had flash. Mega chunks on such a short notice. Broken Blade. No, like Nako tries to ult the wave there. Just pushing.
Coming out. Humanoid knows that Caps is in that bush. Baron still being done. 4,000 on it as Knuckle begins to build up the Mega Gnar bar. Grand Starfall in. They look for BB. Fleshy goes in with the Magnet Storm, but doesn't really catch on to anyone. Lince is being kept at bay by Skewmon, who lands the smite and secures the Baron. Lince is taken down by Skewmon. Ember's dividing by Humanoid, but G2 are still so healthy. It's all on Kazi and Knuckle, who finally has the Mega Gnar built up, but no one to use it on. G2 find 3 in the fight and secure the Baron.
I mean, it's a 3 for 0 and the Baron. You cannot wish for more as G2 in this spot. And I don't think we're seeing another 50-minute banger medic. I will not caster cursed it, but I think G2 is looking really poised to take this game as of now.
Man, if we do see another 50-minute banger, that is a sizable cost. Kazi caught out by Broken Blade. Last point coming out. Will Satchel knocks Broken Blade against the wall as well. But yeah, if G2 loses from this, needs a way to build up that bar again, but he'll be out of rage for a while. as Caps jumps onto Kazi. Satchel charge from Kazi, well placed. Caps goes back in, lands the chains. Caps going deep, almost kills Kazi, but doesn't do it. Caps is down, the Drake down to 3,000 as well. Linksys nowhere near in the area to secure this. Caps sacrifices himself for waiting in the wings to see if someone does face check. Linksys stepping forward. Caps jumps in, lands the chains. Linksys has to flash the arrow.
Okay.
That would have been follow-up on the chains if they'd landed. And while all of that was going to keep him at bay, Nako, the only player in the game higher level than Caps right now at 18. G2 have pulled off, the arrow lands, there's the encore follow-up, Flashy pulled back, the Sun Disc down as well as Linksys falls low and is taken out by Caps. The Vitality jungler now.
The CC chain was beautiful, they couldn't really get the Aegis Assault out in time to block the incoming damage. Will end up falling down.
Still only has level 1 boots as well. We'll have something like the Mercury Treads to try and avoid that much about Hans Sommer until it was about Kazi. But for this game, Hans Sommer has been a passenger on the Caps train, as we have said so many times in the last few years. The damage from those chains, but Vitality are walking into darkness. Nako doesn't know if there's someone waiting on the other side of that wall, and it's Caps again. The dash across from Nako, but pop goes the Gnar. Humanoid tries to get in, but Caps dodges away. The encore, Humanoid pops the stopwatch, but pops immediately afterwards. G2 don't even need the Elder to finish this one off.
And then G2 look angry after game 1. They're like, okay, we should have won that game. Now we're gonna finish it out cleanly. We're gonna play in their vision pockets and just attack them before they get a chance to contest the objective. Yasuo is in the base, Ash Seraphin is in the base, pushing towards those Nexus towers. Pantheon, you can try to ult out, but you're only gonna come home to a broken Nexus, I'm afraid.
Yeah, Kazi has to try and defend, has that Mega Inferno Bomb, but with bound up minions and a Wind Wall in his way, the Enchanted Crystal Arrow finds Kazi, and G2 will even out the series at 1-1. An impressive performance from their main man in the mid lane. Caps carrying the team once again as G2 step up and take us to 1-1.
Skewmon Olaf.
Olaf jungle with
I mean, he does get kited a bit now, but
Oh, let's go!
I'm not sure.
It's a little bit diverse. I like at the very least that G2's comp
Doesn't have great wave clear. He's mystic shotting a couple of minions here or there, and that's about it.
I mean, Ezreal is basically strong to push if he can threaten the all-in, but if he cannot get the all-in here, as
good
that's a really good trade.
Broken
Trouble here.
Needs a couple more autos. Is he holding the flash? Flash forward from Nako. Flash away
Dash
from
stab.
BB. Dash stab! Nako with a solo ball to Q3.
I mean, it's just bread and butter. Like, this is just how the combo works. Like, when Broken Blade walks up there and then misses the Q.
Oh, Nako gets some damage on the Broken Blade. Needs another tower shot. Not gonna get it. Skewmon with the undertow will find the kill. So where's Linksys? Probably on the top side of the map. Currently at the red. Could look to try and steal away this blue, and Caps doesn't want that to happen. So he makes sure the control ward goes down to protect Skewmon's investments in the top side. Caps making a sojourn up towards this top side. Nako trying to move across as well. Caps does have the push in mid, and Human is going to have to answer that. So it'll be a 3v2 if Caps moves first and begins to do so.
Tricky.
Yeah, I think Vitality are realizing they can't really contest. Caps already in the fog of war. Bubble gonna land here. Tidal wave there for the follow-up onto Lebrov. Gets the kick back onto Fleshy, down to 200 HP, but
Like, the health bars are fake.
yeah.
Like, you don't know how low someone is when there's a barrier and heal coming out in a moment's notice, so...
Emilio are also giving you about 150 HP back, alongside getting rid of some of those CC effects. As you say, Nako pops the World Ender, and I think Skewmon's happy enough just to back away, takes that ultimate, and then retreats out of the fight. You thought they were going to go for more there, didn't you? As the Scatter of the Week's going to land on the Caps. Unleash power! Humanoid finds it, takes the nap afterwards. Sweet dreams for Humanoid.
That is done after game 2, where he got humbled by the LeBlanc, and here, Linsa's rolling up with a big binder. Doesn't find it.
His massive binder just coming in. Gonna get hit you with all of these files, my dude.
Again.
A couple of pings coming out from both teams as Nako and Broken Blade trade towards the top side. Chains for the pullback. Caps still looking to get up here. Nako is about to realize he's in a 1v2. Flashes away from the Sleepy Trouble Bubble. Now needs to get out from the paddle stars as well. Skewmon getting caught out. Good bubble, but he goes in with the Ragnarok and trades back onto Linksys. The Protoplasm Harness alongside that maximum dosage, healing Linksys up enough. Meanwhile, on the top side, Nako was able to escape. Lebrov dies to Humanoid. The torch enough to burn through the Melio.
Wow. look how tanky the Mundo was there.
Yeah.
With the protoplasm harness, the W and the ult, he just walked out of there. Scott
got the damage there down onto Humanoid to stop him from getting the reset. Oh,
behind him,
TP
though.
behind as well as Broken Blade overstepped, walked through the tower. Linsus on the chase. BB still has his flash. Scatter the Weak not gonna find him. He flashes away from it. I don't think they'll have the damage to go through the Soul Furnace for now. And because of that, Rift Herald is gonna get secured. Cap's gonna get hit with the True Chains. Unfortunately, I believe Skewmon got out of the range of the chains there.
I think the little
dealing with Broken Blade, who has just been able to chip away at this tower pretty effectively by himself. In fact, it's going to might even take the whole tower here with the minions.
questionable side laning here from Vitality. Like Aatrox rotated down fully, but Humanoid rotated mid fully, and you know Caps and Beaver just pushing these side lanes. Like, okay, they'll probably get this dragon, so they in the end they get what they wanted, but paid a little bit of a big price for it.
Nako staying. They really want Caps. Or they just really want the tower. Skewmon is in the vicinity, currently at his wolves. Broken Blade will be able to take Skewmon and then has to walk away. This will be a tower over to G2. Meanwhile, nothing really doing for Vitality on the other side of the map. G2 happy enough with the turret. It's like, okay, we're slightly behind. We'll just take the gold we can get.
Actually, the fight is already breaking out as they're taking so much space. But I think Nako, if you want to TP, this is the time to do it on that Raptor board. If you're not, then you can just keep pushing and get rich, my guy.
Clear the wave, get the tower. Shield on him. But Kaza and Fleshy alone. Nako dashes away from the Decimating Smash. Caps looking for the long range. Sleepy Trouble Bubble goes just short of hitting Kazi. The Drake down to 6,000. Broken Blade pulled back. Q3 from Nako doesn't find its mark. G2 just waiting in the fog of war, jumping onto Linsus again. Sleepy Trouble Bubble not hitting.
Humanoid
Nako coming across. Humanoid there with the Scatter the Weak. Drag back. Broken Blade has to flash away. Tidal Wave used as well as Caps tries to jump in. Sleepy Trouble Bubble not hitting anyone. Drake secured for Vitality.
They're kind of
point now for them is Humanoid looks for the knockback, but Unstoppable Onslaught out from BB gets him to safety. But what about the rest of G2?
Where are they going to run?
Beginning to step forward. Ragnarok coming out as Skewmon tries to turn the table. Sleepy Trouble Bubble was going to land on Humanoid and forces him to back away. Nako with the World Ender is going to time out, and in the end, G2 able to extricate all 5 members out alive for the cost of a Drake and their mid lane tier 1.
I mean, they made it out alive, but still, that's Drake over to Vitality. Mid lane tower. You can make that argument. You can make that argument, yeah. Truly counter logic.
Linsus here, dodging to the side of the Undertow, coming out of Skewmon. Good damage onto LeBron. There's the culling as well with an Acroprism onto Broken Blade. He's down to about a 3rd HP. Skewmon now having to retreat. Sleepy Trouble Bubble is going to land onto the Mundo. Nako trying to get in the way. Ragnarok forward by Skewmon, but he's just down, and now the chase continues. Broken Blade's on the back line, and the rest of G2 don't have the tank in front of them. Hans Summer uses the barrier. TP coming in. This is Ocean Soul with no jungler for G2. Vitality looking to clean it up.
I mean, they were not tanky at all. Skewmon runs in there, just gets one shot by all of Vitality, and now Caps may be in trouble.
He has to flash away. Kazi's not going to chase any further, doesn't need to. There's a Baron and a Soul for Vitality. Caps taken out by the True Shot barrage. Kazi finds his man.
Say what you want about Kazi, but when he gets Ezreal, he always delivers. It's a fantastic pick coming out that might just be the Baron, or it might just be something mid there. Look at that, Nako is going up.
Hans still has the flash, and not Nako! Flash, Darkin Blade follows it up on LeBron. He'll keep chasing and then decide against it. Doesn't want to get kicked back. Baron has to be the option now for Vitality as BB is just pushing out the bottom side, knowing he can't do anything at this objective.
And you see on the player cams of Vitality, you see their massive grins, they're smiling, they're having a fantastic time while they're just running G2 across the map.
There's a tiny window. Humanoid shows up, doesn't have TP. Broken Blade does have one. Skewmon has the Ragnarok. You could just sprint in and look for the steal. Skewmon's working his way across there now. 5,000 on the Baron. I think it's going to be too late. And there is the Baron for Vitality. There was a very, very small window where G2 could have tried to contest, but without Caps' TP, perhaps without the knowledge.
What's happening in Vitality team comes.
Man, like, as long as they're vibing, it works for them. Vitality have often been... They've been a team based on mojo. That has always been Vitality's motto, right? Even when we saw them making it into Worlds with Yamato talking about climbing the mountain, you know? It was always a team that relied so much on individual skill alongside good macro. Tidal Wave coming out as Humanoid is called out, gets the Scatter of the Weak back, and Hans Summer almost dies. Meanwhile, on the backline, Kazi's getting chased out by Skewmon. Skewmon trying to flash, but can't kill off Kazi. And now Linsus turns it around. Caps rocket belting out of the clutches of this Mundo. Another Scatter of the Weak hitting onto Broken Blade. They've lost their jungler once again. A long-range Sleepy Trouble Bubble not going to be followed up by a Paddle Star. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, Nako continues to knock on that inhibitor tower. Vitality pushing through 2 waves and no real answer coming out from G2.
I mean, their mojo just all over the place right now as they're pushing in inhibitors here. Like, look at the damage, look at the poke, look at the range. It's the Syndra and Ezreal combo. Wherever they walk up, they just outrange all of G2. The Lucian cannot dash in against this champion. BB is on the tower just to get the shield for semblance of being able to hold their base right now, but Naknako and Vitality are pushing on their door.
Naknako is 5 levels up above Hansama. Has to retreat for now as the first tower does fall. Kaza and Humo is still very healthy as well. Hansama dodging to the side of the Infernal chains, but all he's doing is putting a tickle into the back of Naknako. Broken Blade now on the front line. G2 have 5 members strong, but they just can't defend. The Nexus is open and the minions are doing all the work. It's a barrage of cannon minions, and the artillery will take out the Nexus. Vitality 2-1.
And Lynn says you said